Hello ladies and gentlemen. Today I will show you the next step for your slab memory box, or really rolling any slab out of clay to make a box. First of all, you have your sketches with your different details that you added on to dedicate your box to a memory. What you have to have are at least 3 different dimensions: the height, the length or the width, and then the length or the width. And keep in mind the ballpark measurements, but if you adjust the shape and the size, that's okay too. So I have a square or a rectangle that is 4 inches wide, 3 inches tall, and that's one side of the box, and I'll need 2 of those. I will also need a size that is 3 by 3 because it's 3 inches tall. So I will need 2 of those. And then I need a top and a bottom, which would be 4 by 3. You'll be able to figure out that as you go, and that's part of the problem solving. A couple of tips when you're ready to cut your shapes out of paper: keep in mind that your corner of the paper is a perfect right angle. So I'm just going to use this scrap of paper right here. I need 2 that are 4 by 3. So I'm going to start with my biggest pieces first. And the corner of your paper, like I said, it's a right angle. It's 90 degrees. So start with the corners of your paper first. And what I'm going to do is measure 4 inches long, and also measure 4 inches long down further for your width. That way when you connect the length, it matches up. Kind of like when you drew your grid, you had to measure both angles. If I just try to draw a straight line down, it might be crooked. So that's 4 inches wide. Now I want it to be 3 inches tall, so I'm going to measure 3 inches on the one end and 3 inches on the one end as well. So I have 2 marks to go off of to connect. So this is 4 inches by 3 inches. I need 2 of these. You can either trace it or just redraw it again. But again, please work from the corner of your paper. That way you don't waste paper. And I'm just going to work this way now to get the shapes you need. You can also label the sides of your paper. This would be one of the sides, side 2. So I have 2 sides of my box, and I'm going to measure out my 3 by 3 inch end as well. I'm going to start here. I'm going to measure 3 inches at the top, move down a little bit, measure 3 inches with the edge of the corner, and then connect it. And please share paper, by the way, too. I'm going to measure 3 inches down this way, 3 inches down this way at the other end, and connect it. So I have now a square. You can tape your pieces together temporarily, but you will have to cut them apart in order to roll out your slabs. So this is one of the ends, and I can just use this twice, and this is going to be the top and the bottom. What you need to do is tape your pieces together. I'll just tape these together so you can see that it will make a 3D form. You can use masking tape or the clear tape, and just put one little piece so that you can easily tear them apart. So now I have, you can see the end and the side like this. And then I would have the top and the bottom as well. So that's the shape it's going to be. When you roll it out of clay, it will look bigger because you have a thickness for the slab itself. So that is the first step, is to cut out your pieces out of paper first so you can visualize what it will look like and how the pieces will fit together. The next step is rolling out your slabs, and you've done this before, so I'm just going to do a quick reminder. For rolling slabs, you need to make sure you have your really soft clay. It is in the plastic stage, and your wooden dowels to make sure it's an even thickness. It doesn't hold the clay in place, but it just helps ensure that you roll it out evenly. And try to fit as many pieces as you can on one of the slabs. As I'm rolling, if you see air bubbles, just smooth them out. Make sure it is totally even. Part of your grade and evaluation on good craftsmanship is making sure you have even slabs. And now what I'm going to do is try to see how many pieces I can fit in this one piece of clay that I rolled out. So let's try to get at least 2. You'll cut apart your pieces. And I'm going to try to roll out as many as I can here. Oops. Might as well get the 2 big ones done. And you can put them right next to each other so they share an edge. And then I need a tool to cut it. Carefully cut around it. If you have thicker paper, it's a little bit easier. Oops. You can peel the clay around this side and carefully peel the slab up. You don't want to bend the slab too much because it will stay in the curl. And what you can do is put it on your clay board with newspaper in between each piece. I'm just going to make this so it doesn't stick to the bottom. You don't have to do too much with smoothing out your pieces. You want them to dry out a little bit so they hold the shape. Right now, the clay is still in the plastic stage, so it's very bendable. Once it hardens a little bit, it will hold its shape really well and it won't be so floppy, and that will be the leather hard stage. So what you want to do is stack your slabs with paper in between, and I'm going to cut this one out for the demo as well. Peel out my extra clay off. That goes back in the clay bag, or I can roll another slab. And again, you don't want to do too much with your slabs. You don't want to bend them too much. You just want to stack them on top of each other so that they have time to become leather hard. You will wrap up your slabs, and the goal is to get every piece cut out of clay. That's why it's helpful to have your pieces. Every piece cut out of clay before you move on to the next step, because they have to become leather hard first.